refused to believe that Malcolm Jamal Warner would have wanted his wife and daughter left financially vulnerable after his passing. According to court filings and media reports, Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner, has filed a lawsuit involving his estate and trust, which reportedly has been overseen by his mother since she was named executor in 1996. This situation is especially heartbreaking because everyone involved is experiencing unimaginable grief.
Just when we thought Malcolm Warner Jr. could finally rest in peace, we find out that his wife and mother have been beefing the entire time. Not only did his wife Tanisha do an interview calling his mother out, but sued Malcolm's estate for $1.2 million owed to her. But his mother Pamela isn't backing down, and now she is saying Tanisha might know something about Malcolm's death that she isn't telling anyone. And until Tanisha gives a full account of where she was when Malcolm died, she won't be getting a cent from his estate. But before we get into why Malcolm's mama doesn't see eye to eye with Tanisha, we have to talk about what brought this drama to the public in the first place. So last week, Malcolm's wife Tanisha did an interview with Gayle King over at their house in Georgia. Knowing that she had a sit down with Gayle King came as a surprise since she and Malcolm were notoriously private about their life. And during their interview, Tanisha did admit that her not liking the spotlight and fame was one of the things Malcolm liked about her.
I've never liked the spotlight, and so that's one of the things that he loved in me, meeting a woman that didn't care about what was on the red carpet at all. And
you really didn't care about any of that.
I did not. Mm-hmm. I remember even going to an event with him and we walked the red carpet and I was like, get me out of here. There's too many lights. And I was like, can I just meet you at the end?
When the conversation shifted to her mother-in-law, Pamela Warner, and how they are both coping with the loss of their loved one, Tanisha was pretty uptight about it. She made it clear that both of them weren't close, and she only had so much to give emotionally. When Tanisha talked about her mother-in-law, Pamela, you could see there was tension underneath, and part of that had to do with Tanisha's fear that Pamela could sell the house right up from under her and leave her and their 9-year-old daughter stranded. And that fear is not completely unjustified because Malcolm's mother already sold their first home using her power as trustee of Malcolm's 1996, despite Tanisha's objection. Now, why did Pamela sell the house when Malcolm's wife kicked against it? We will never know. But what we do know is that right before the interview aired, Tanisha filed a lawsuit against Malcolm's mother in her position as successor trustee of the Malcom Family Trust. In a public statement, she explained, "I have been struggling to care for our daughter as a single mom, and now as her sole provider. Legally, I had no choice but to take action to protect our rights before any potential statute of limitations expired." In the lawsuit, she claimed that the couple signed a prenup where Malcolm committed to securing a $1 million life insurance policy with Tanisha as the sole beneficiary. He also agreed to pay her a $16,000 yearly bonus and $5,000 per month as his chief of staff, as they had both agreed for her to quit her job and become a full-time housewife. Malcolm created his trust in 1996. And right now, Tanisha is positioning herself as a creditor of the estate. And the debt owed to her needs to be settled before anything is distributed. So when the interview came out, it really did feel like a calculated move to garner some sympathy and turn Malcolm's fan base over to her side. And it did leave people wondering why his mother wouldn't want to make sure that her son's widow, or at the very least her grandchild, is well taken care of. Malcolm always seems like a put-together man who had his affairs in order, so it's weird to see that he didn't protect his wife and daughter and basically left them to the mercy of his family. And this is exactly what Malcolm's mother pointed out after she was notified that the lawsuit had been filed against her. You see, Tanisha filed on July 20th, 2026, exactly 1 year after Malcolm's death. So while Pamela was trying to fondly remember her son's memory, she was hit with a lawsuit calling her to pay up. And the message she released reflected this, as she said, "During my year-long journey, I have discovered how cruel, evil, and greedy a human can be. I have also discovered the depth of love, care, concern, and support that humans are capable of. He was not just my son, but my go-to person, my confidant, my brother, and sometimes he had to parent me. He was my business partner for more than 40 years. We together built the name and the business. He was always the front man. I took care of the business. We worked well together. It was a pleasure and honor to work alongside Malcolm. There were not always sunny days, but we managed to get through to the other side. It was important for both of us and our combined survival in the business to always get to the other side, and we were successful." Pamela made sure to highlight just how much Malcom trusted her to handle his affairs. Because it's not easy to work with your parents for 40 years without feeling restricted or breaking up. But they were able to make it through and maintain success and longevity. So there must have been something about his wife that stopped him from fully. And Tanisha's actions after Malcom passed showed that he was right to have some reservations about her. Right after Malcom passed away from drowning while in Costa Rica on holiday, Tanisha was the first to be contacted, since Malcom was her husband and her daughter also had to be rescued. So when Malcom's mother was asked how she found out, you'd think she'd say it was Tanisha that reached out to deliver the heartbreaking news. Instead, it was her son's best friend that told her about it.
His best friend. His best friend was contacted. His wife called his best friend to come and tell me what had happened.
I'm sure his wife and mother didn't see eye to eye even before he passed. But for Tanisha not to pick up the phone to call herself is diabolical. I mean, even if they weren't close, Tanisha didn't even care enough to give Malcom's mother the courtesy of a phone call to tell her that her son had drowned. Both of them lost the same person, and this could have been a moment to lean on each other and maybe connect in a way they never had. And I understand Pamela feeling some type of way that Tanisha couldn't call when her son died, but suddenly found the energy when she needed the $1.2 million cleared. For Pamela, this showed that Tanisha didn't care for the family or about maintaining family dynamics, which was something her son stood for. Instead, it looked like Tanisha was only out for the money and brought back Pamela's suspicions that something wasn't right with Malcom's death. From the beginning, details about Tanisha's whereabouts when he passed were very sketchy. At first, she was right there when Malcom had to be rescued. Then Tanisha went back on it, saying that she wasn't present. When he passed, there also wasn't any statement and just nothing from her. Complete radio silence. Everyone was wondering where exactly Tanisha was since they were supposed to be on a family vacation, and why she didn't say anything following his death. That was one of the first things Gail tried to clear up when they sat down together. However, Tanisha still managed to find a way to avoid giving a clear answer.
Particular day, you were on vacation, so were you there first and then he joined?
Well, the moments of that day, they occupy my body so deeply. So it's really hard for me to sort of relive what all of that was and to think about it, because it just breaks me in a way that makes it hard for me to sort of stay steady.
What Gail asked was a simple yes or no question to find out whether or not she was on the island that day. Why does she have to be so secret about her being in Costa Rica or not at the time of his passing? She tried to skate around it every time Gail tried to ask about that day. At the end, she claimed that she was in so much shock that she can't really remember what happened.
Let me ask you this, was there a time that you thought you had lost both of them? Because that was one of the early reports. Can you say where you were at the time?
I can't remember the details.
You really can't. Do you think you just blocked it out?
I think it was my body went through shock.
Tanisha is a psychologist and knows how to play the emotional game. She knows that framing it as memory loss from trauma makes the public more sympathetic towards her, and immediately puts a stop to any more questions about her whereabouts on that day. It worked, because any more questions would be met with the exact same response, and if you continue to press on it, it would look like an innocent grieving widow being attacked for a trauma response she had no control over. And the thing is, Pamela and Tanisha have tried to privately work things out. Tanisha was given access to his estate along with his investment accounts and all his personal belongings. Even if she has gone through all of that with the new business ventures she entered, that doesn't automatically entitle her to half of the money in the trust. The Warner Family Trust is Malcom and Pamela's business. They have talked about how it started, and Pamela does not owe Tanisha half of something that was built 20 years before the marriage. Pamela and Tanisha trying to find a middle ground must also be difficult, since there's enough hurt and bad blood to go around. However, regardless of how Pamela feels about her son's wife, the important thing here is her granddaughter. She doesn't have to struggle when her father left more than enough behind to take care of her. And people feel the same way. Malcom is still fresh in everyone's memory, and the man we knew wouldn't want his wife and mum publicly fighting over money. And folks are encouraging them to find a way to settle, saying, "I hope that both parties can resolve this amicably for the child's sake. She is still your granddaughter at the end of the day." The wife and daughter deserve to be supported without the interference of anyone, including the mother. Let this be another moment for all of us to take the necessary steps to protect the ones we leave behind. This is so sad. But what do you guys think about this? Sound off in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies!